Let's go to 1 Timothy. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9.
First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
So in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, okay? Modest apparel is clothing that does not attract sexual attention, okay? So now, a woman may have, let's say if a woman has on a tight dress where all her shape is showing, okay, she's not wearing what pertains to a man, but she's still in transgression of the law because the dress that she is wearing is not modest, okay? So that's why, sisters, when you leave your house, you know what I'm saying, you have to make sure that the dress that you're wearing to the Sabbath is a modest dress where it's not so tight fitting, okay? So like I said before, a woman, even though she's wearing what pertains to a woman, but if it's not modest, okay, such as a tight miniskirt, that's not according to the Bible. She's still in transgression of that law. Read on.
That women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness.
With shamefacedness, meaning that it's not only, we bring out shamefacedness where a woman is not supposed to be all up in a man's face. We know that. But you also want to be shamefacedness when you're amongst other sisters as well. Especially if it's a senior sister. You know what I'm saying? Where we could have, it could be an older sister that just came into the body that's a baby in this truth. But you may have a sister that's younger than her in earthly years, but has been in this truth longer than her. So she would be considered her elder at that point. So when it says shamefacedness, a woman also has to be slow to speak and quick to listen, even if it's dealing amongst other sisters as well. Doesn't only pertain to the men, but women have to be shamefacers dealing with men as well as dealing with other women as well. All right, read on.
And sobriety.
Sobriety is making sure you're sober. You know what I'm saying? You're not drunk, you're not high on drugs. Sober-minded, clear-minded. Go ahead.
And with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
So it says not with broidered hair, gold, pearls, or costly array. There's nothing wrong to wear jewelry, but it's saying don't let that represent who you are. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the gold and the pearls represent who you are. All right? It has to be your mind. You have to get that spiritual baptism that really cleanses your mind and changes who you are, because it starts with the mind first. All right? So read verse 10.
But which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
So which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let's find out what those good works are. Let's get Exodus chapter 18, verse 20. Okay, let's get Exodus 18 and 20 to further explain what these good works are that our sisters should be performing.
The book of Exodus chapter 18 and verse 20. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and do the work that they must do.
And do what?
And do the work that they must do.
So these are the good works that women have to profess as godliness, okay? The good works is keeping the commandments of the Most High, the walking in them, teaching them to your children when the husband may be at work, okay? These are the good works that women have to pattern themselves by. Okay, so from there, let's go to Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Just going over basic scriptures. You know, we read these all the time, dealing with the Israelite man and woman dress code. All right, the way we're supposed to dress, the way that makes us different from all the people that are outside these doors. That's why the Most High says we are a holy nation, a holy people, separate from the people that are not keeping God's commandments, okay? So, Numbers 15:38.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations. And that they...
Read that again, I'm sorry.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So, Most High speaking to the children of Israel, as we know, and bid them or command them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments. So, we understand that, especially for women, like, because we know that it takes more fringes and more borders of blue to put fringes on the bottom of a dress, okay? So if you're just coming into the truth, if you're just new and you can't afford all of those fringes, it's okay if a woman has a t-shirt that has fringes on until she gets enough fringes and borders of blue to put them on the bottom of her dress. So it's okay for a woman to wear fringes on her t-shirt if she doesn't have enough fringes to put on the bottom of her dress, okay? Continue.
Throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
A ribbon of blue. So now we wear the fringes, you know, we can get fringes of different color, you know, to match our outfit, but the borders have to be blue. Whether it be a royal blue, whether it be a navy blue, whether it be a sky blue, the fringes have to be the color blue, but we're free to wear any color fringe that we want in order to match our outfit, all right? Continue.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring.
So that's the purpose of the fringes, so we can look upon them and to help us remember the commandments of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? And where it says that we used to go a-whoring. So, brothers, I got a question. Give me a time frame when we didn't have fringes and we went a-whoring. Just a brief history. Who knows where we could find that history at? Where we didn't have fringes on and we went a-whoring. Anybody? Any brother? Yeah, before fringes was instituted, where in history did we go a-whoring? Because it says here, seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a-whoring. Brother Micaiah.
Shalom, leadership. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1.
Yes. I'm looking for something else in. It's go ahead, Brother Gerard.
Shalom, we made the golden calf.
Very good. Because during the time when Aaron made the golden calf, fringes were not instituted at that time. So that was a time where we used to go a-whoring. So now, we don't read fringes in the 10 Commandments. So when we are not wearing fringes, what commandment are we breaking? Brothers. Young man in the back, Isaac. Is that Isaac? Young man, yeah, give it to him.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom. So I'll repeat the question. When we are not wearing our fringes, out of the 10 Commandments, which one are we breaking? Because fringes is not in the 10 Commandments.
Since fringes falls under all the 10 Commandments, then we're breaking all of them.
Well, there's a specific one that I'm looking for when we're not wearing it. Think about it, where it says where we used to go a-whoring.
The first commandment?
Very good. Excellent. When we are not wearing our fringes, we are breaking the first commandment. Because that's why it says where we used to go a-whoring. We went a-whoring, worshiping other gods by worshiping those calves when we did not have fringes on. Does that make sense? Okay, all praises. So when we are not wearing our fringes, now we understand. Nobody's gonna have fringes on when they're taking a shower. We know that. You know, and there's times when it may be hot in the house, you know, men may sleep with their t-shirt off. You know what I'm saying? But when you step foot out those doors, you make sure you have your fringes on. Okay? Because we are breaking that first commandment of thou shalt have no other gods when we are not wearing our fringes. All right? So from there, go to, let's get an example of Christ on how Christ had wore fringes. I'm going to get two examples for Christ. First, let's go to Mark 6:56. I'm not going to get Matthew. I'll tell you which one. Let's get Mark 6:56. Well, we're going to start at 53. Mark 6:53, and 56 is the point. So we're going to get an example of how Christ wore fringes, and if we call ourselves Christians, that means we followers of Christ. So we should be doing the same thing that Christ did, because as it says in Matthew 5:17, Christ came not to destroy the law. Okay, so which means that Christ didn't destroy the law of fringes. So fringes are still in place, as it says in the scriptures, throughout our generations. All right, so let's see that Christ also wore fringes.
Mark
6:53.
Mark chapter 6, verse 53. And when they had passed over, they came into the land of Gennesaret.
Yep.
Gennesaret, and drew to the shore.
So they're getting ready to come off the ship at this point. Go ahead.
And when they were come out of the ship, straightway they knew him.
So straight away they knew him. All the people, all the multitude that was around there, they knew Christ. Go ahead.
And ran through the whole region round about, and began to carry about in beds those that were sick, where they heard he was.
So they all made it an effort. They made haste to go and to follow Christ wherever he was going to be located at. Go ahead.
And whithersoever he entered into villages or cities or country, they laid the sick in the streets and besought him.
So they laid the sick in the streets and besought him. When they besought Christ, meaning they pretty much begged him. Go ahead.
That they might touch, if it were but the border of his garment.
If they may touch but the border of his garment. Now we already know what was on the border of Christ's garment was his fringes, because we read in Numbers 15:38, put fringes on the borders of thy garment. So they wanted to make haste so they could touch his fringes. Go ahead.
And as many as touched him were made whole.
So that's how you know that the people knew that there was power in wearing those fringes. You know what I'm saying? They ran up to Christ, touched his fringes, and they were made whole. Okay? That's how you know that there's power in these fringes that we wear. You know what I'm saying? Part of our dress code. Part of the way that we are supposed to, the things that we are supposed to be wearing when we leave our house. All right? Let's get another example. Let's get Luke 8:44. It's another account of somebody touching Christ's fringes. Start at 41.
Luke chapter 8, verse 41. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue. And he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come into his house. Mm-hmm. For he had one only daughter, about 12 years old, or 12 years of age, and she lay dying. But as he went, the people thronged him.
Go ahead.
And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years.
So this woman had an issue of blood for 12 years. Go ahead.
Which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any.
So it said the woman that had an issue of blood for 12 years, she has spent all her living days upon physicians where neither could be healed of any. So we know that it's not the actual physician that heals us. So let's hold this. Let's get what actually heals us, okay? Because it wasn't the physicians that healed her. Let's get Psalms 107 verse 20. Okay, this is what actually heals us, all right? It wasn't the physicians necessarily that healed her, all right, of her issue of blood. But let's find out according to the Bible what actually heals us. The book of Psalms chapter 107 and verse 20.
Psalms chapter 107 verse 20. He sent his word and healed them.
Read that again.
He sent his word and healed them.
So the Most High God sent his word and it healed them. Okay, so this is how the woman was not able to be healed, even though she went to the physician for all those 12 years. The physicians were not able to heal her. It's the word of God that was able to heal her. All right, and we're going to read on on how she was healed as well. So go back to Luke.
Luke chapter 8, verse 43. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any.
So she couldn't be healed by any of those physicians. Go ahead.
Came behind him
She came behind Christ.
and touched the border of his garment.
She touched the border of his garment. Go ahead.
And immediately her issue of blood stanched.
So her issue of blood stopped immediately as she touched the border of Christ's garment. She touched his fringes again, all right? And immediately she was healed. It wasn't the physicians that healed her. It was the commandment, because Christ is the laws of God in the flesh, okay? So when she touched Christ's garment, she immediately was healed, all right? After spending all her life going to physician after physician, she touched the borders of Christ's garments, and immediately she was healed. Her issue of blood had stopped. That's how we know that there's power in these fringes that we wear.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. Take care of us. Take care of us. And our children too. And our children too. We have repented. We have repented. How about you? How about you? People want to know who's the king.
O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father. O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.